Hey everybody, this is Chelsea Schaefer.
And Caitlin Gustav.
And this is The Score, the official podcast of the sport of team roping. This is the Team Roping Journal's semi-weekly podcast highlighting the team roping industry's top talent and influencers through stories that inspire and connect ropers. We sit down with ropers from the professional ranks as well as industry icons and producers to delve into topics that make the team roping world tick. This is Season 2. It will feature even deeper interviews, storytelling, and issue-based coverage, and we are so excited you're here. Hey everybody, we just watched round 10 of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and we know who the world champs are, and by now, so do you. None other than Clay Smith and Wesley Thorp. And one of the things the first thing, this is going to be a shameless plug for the companies that we work for, but if ever there were child prodigies in the sport of team roping, it was Clay Smith and Wesley Thorp. They probably won, top 5 most amount of money ever won at the U.S. Finals. They were junior loopers. They came up through the TRC, and so it was really exciting to watch them. Wesley Thorp, they've been talking about Wesley Thorp since long before he ever showed up in the PRCA. So it was very exciting, but it's a split world title.
Yeah, which is kind of heartbreaking for, Cody Snow and Jade.
Yeah, definitely heartbreaking. Jade has been on the other end of a split world title before, where he's won it and his partner hasn't. They didn't rope all year. Clay started out just dominating last year. At the end of the year with Paul Leaves, when the 2020 season had restarted, when the 2019 season had started, then Jake Long kicked butt with him, and then Jade kind of came out of his semi-retirement. So, it's obvious that they didn't rope together all year. Jade wanted to finish strong. That bobble last night really cost them, but they did what they had to do tonight. So,
yeah, they placed 4th in the round in the 10th round. They were 4-7. Winning the round was Caleb Driggers and Junior Noguera. They were 4-1. It was a really tight race. It came down to this final round. So
yeah, that round got kind of soft too. In that a lot of the teams that were going for the day money went out, and then Chad Masters and Joseph Harrison took in no time. The Miners had heck. Bretton Hall and Chase Tryon, they had heck. So it really came down to those last few teams. Cody Snow and Wesley Thorp, they finished. They won the average. They roped so good all week.
Yeah, they ended up second in the round tonight with a 4-4, and they were 43 and 80 seconds on 9 head. They had a mess up in one round, but, they finished strong. Cody was heading phenomenal, I thought, and same with Wesley. Wesley, I feel like he's very dominant on the hillside, so
yeah. Really fun to see that, to see Wesley get a world title, to see Cody and Wesley get an average title. Caleb and Junior, they put an exclamation mark. I heard that there was a lot of talk that they are going for it next year. When there's no more Caleb trying to safety up and rope smart. He wants to go for the rounds next year. I already heard that chatter. So it'll be fun. Look out NFR 2020. But they ended the way that they wanted to, as far as winning 3 rounds in a row, and they're going to be back with a vengeance. So
stay tuned, 2020.
Stay tuned.
Coming in hot.
NFR 2020 is going to be kind of intense. But now, before we get on to next year, we are going to talk to our world and average champions here shortly, Clay Smith and Wesley Thorp, a split title, and Cody Snow and Wesley Thorp are average champs. Number 2. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Like I said, before, it's a little bittersweet not having Jade. I didn't do a good enough job, or he would have been up here with me. He roped great for me all year, but I'm extremely blessed to be in this spot.
Gotcha. Now, going into this round, did you sit up and do any math? Jade, what did you know going into this round?
I knew, it's kind of, our plan's kind of been the same all week, and so I didn't have to change. Every night we was trying to win something, and if we win the round, good. If we didn't, that's okay too, as long as we kept getting checks. And I knew tonight that if some of them guys did good, I was going to have to place in the round. And sure enough, the team did good, so I thought I'd had to place in the round to, hold my spot. And,
was Brett or Jake up there telling you what was going on?
No, you can see on the TVs a little bit, and then those guys were kind of right in front of me, so I was able to watch a little bit. And but like I said, I was really wanting to try to win the round. And I kind of missed my dally, didn't give Jade a good handle. And like I said, only Jade could have caught some of the steers that I.
Jade wasn't gonna miss that round.
No,
steer. There was no. It looked like
No, there
he
was
just
no.
made sure.
There was no way he was gonna miss, and that's what I told him before. He was rooting me on all the way. I know he's. That's what's good about Jade is he was truly happy for me, and I'm truly sick that he's not with me. It's kind of that's just how it is. But there wasn't nobody in the world I'd rather have other than Jade back there when it mattered. I knew he's the guy he's a closer, and he's the best, and I'm glad to have him as a partner and a friend.
He's been your dream partner forever.
I mean, he's been the best that I've ever seen. All growing up and starting rodeoing, and his mental game. That dude he wants to win more than anybody, and almost I want to think I want to win that much too. But he's even more aggressive than me and his mind's so good as far as not letting things get in the way. And I knew for a fact that I know how some people's like, oh, you mess up, is he gonna mess up? I know for a fact Jade Corporal ain't gonna miss again. And like I said, I messed up earlier in the week. For us to, it shouldn't have came down to the last steer, but it's crazy how it is out here. Every year, it doesn't matter what you come in with, what kind of lead, it always seems to come down to one steer. And so, but for that one steer, I had the best guy in the world.
Did you say anything to him last night?
No, we didn't talk last night. I know he was sick, and
he's beeping him the whole way.
I was just glad to have him.
Now you are holding your son. How special is this? How special is it that the whole family's here? It's been a family deal for you since the start. Like this wasn't an accident that you're here. This is a family.
No, it's been something that Dad's always had horses, and it's something that's been coming out here for the Dummy Open since I was 5 years old. This is something that it truly is something that we've always wanted to do, and it's crazy how time, I remember coming out here and getting chill bumps here in the Viva Las Vegas. And so to this be the second time, it truly is a blessing.
Now, I feel like you were the child prodigy in Team. You and your brother were just. How much pressure was that going up to this point? And now you've got two. One, sometimes people say one is an accident. To me, actually, Clay Tryon says one is an accident. But how much? What does this feel like as far as an accomplishment goes, compared to how you were raised and how important it was?
Oh, it's everything. Like I said, other than our faith, this rodeo has always been what we've always wanted to do, and I don't know any other way. And I enjoy the sport of team roping. Like when I get home, I enjoy practicing, and so I enjoy roping in general. And but this rodeo out here is. To win this deal is, the ultimate goal, and I got two brothers that are chasing it too, and that, this time next year I'm gonna be dodging them out here. So it's gonna be fun. There's good years to come, and just glad to be a part of it.
How many more good years does Marty have?
I hope 20, but no, he's been great for me. That horse is so smart. He knows. Like tonight, he was ahead of me a little bit. Even like he was reading the play. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it. That horse has been amazing, and I'm hoping I got something else that when he goes down that'll take the spot. I've got several other horses that are coming up that I think are going to be good, but in all reality, I don't know if there'll ever be another Marty. That horse is. I can ride him at Pendleton and then turn around and ride him at the NFR, and that to me that's pretty special, and I'm very thankful to have him.
Do you care that he's never gotten the Horse of the Year title?
No, a little bit, to be honest with you. But just for his sake, it ain't nothing to do with me. But that horse he'll die on the place, and when he gets too old to do it, he'll have a big green pasture. He's been special for me.
Absolutely. Okay. Next year, you and Jade staying hooked.
Oh, I'm planning on roping with Jade as long as he's gonna rope, so I'm staying hooked.
Start out at the beginning of the year, you guys will have the same number one at the end.
We're gonna have the same number, and we won't have to do any weird figuring at the end. And I'm really thankful for him.
Perfect. Congratulations, Clay.
Thank you.
You're the world champion healer.
It's unbelievable.
You're 24, right?
All right, smile. Am we on the spot here? Or are we off the record?
We're on the spot.
All right.
We're good. Okay.
I just need to know how
We're on the
prepared
record.
do I need to be here?
you got to get better at these interviews because now that you are the world champion healer, I mean, you're going to be in the spotlight all the time.
I guess if I could put myself in the spot, I don't mind that.
You've kind of put yourself in the spotlight your whole life. I was just looking back through your records as far as what you've done at the U.S. finals, what you've done. I mean, how prepared did you feel for this moment tonight?
Well, going back to the U.S. finals when I was 12, 13 years old, having a chance to win a lot of money, that that prepares you for a lot. Being a young kid, back in the box for 50, 100,000, I mean, just crazy numbers and at a young age. So tonight, it just, I've been used to that, and I've had a lot of failures in that spot too. So I've actually roped a leg at the American one year for 350,000. So I have, was fortunate enough to have put myself in that spot enough times that I really tried to make myself have fun with it tonight because, I've grown up, roped the fast lane over and over, and every time, you're at 10th round for a gold buckle, and I knew I had a equally as good a chance as anybody tonight. It was basically a one-header between me and Joseph and Chase Tryon, and it's pretty much what it came down to. So I had to go first. I wanted to do the best I could on that steer. Honestly, I did not love my steer.
No.
I did not love him before. He actually turned out good. Cody did a phenomenal job, but I did not like him. Junior slipped a leg on him. Ty Blasquet missed him. Britton and Chase, I thought, did all they could do on him in the first round was 4-4. They made a good run. So I was not, I was as positive I could be for the situation, but I just wanted to have as much fun as I could because I was super glad I put myself in that spot to run that steer.
How did that run come together?
Cody got a great start. He needed to be. I needed to beat those guys. Cody needed to try to win first, and Clay Smith have to stump his toe, and that guy doesn't stump his toe very often, and he proved that tonight. So we really needed to push, but we both decided our run. We came out here with a game plan to make the best run possible, and on a good steer, that is a fast run. So we didn't change anything with our run. He just tried to be, on the barrier, not safety up, take his first best throw, and he set the steer up phenomenal. I had no way that I think I was going to get that good a look at the steer. He hasn't handled anywhere close to that good all week. So I was nervous thinking I would need to pull off a shot, and he actually made my job really easy. So he could not have done a better job. I honestly could not have drew that run up any better for the steer that I knew we had. So I was grateful for the opportunity that I got.
Are you glad you got to go before Caleb and Junior, and you got to go at the beginning of that batch of people that had a shot at it?
I did. I had to be the gunner of the guy that had the chance, and that could go good and bad. We had nothing to lose, so we knew as good as everybody ropes, you don't plan on them just stumping their toes, so you don't lay off and just do it. And the round was soft when we roped. But we tried to stick with the same game plan, and we did tell ourselves the first of the week we wanted to make the same type of run, whether we were way out in front of the average, out of the average, behind. So we had a good formula of what we wanted to do, and that was good, having a good foundation coming in. Gave us both a peace of mind of what each other was going to do, and I thought it really could not have worked out better. For me, Cody, I felt like he deserved to be here in this spot too because he roped lights out this week. He had so much control of his head horse, and I was really proud of him. And I think he had more control of his head horse than I've ever seen a header in that setup have control of one. So that was.
She was great.
She was great. He was great. He rode good. The 8th round stood out to me the best. Whenever we come right off from being 3-6, drew a bad steer, turned his head when he nodded, and then ran and cut him off, and he just stayed right in the middle, turned him, allowed us to stay placed in first in the average, and I thought that was the most important run of the whole week, honestly.
Now, a lot of guys, it's tempting to think, well, you'll get him here next year, but you guys aren't roping together next year.
We're not roping together next year. We each have separate plans. He's roping with the reigning world champion. I'm roping with the 2-time world champion, Chad. They're both older, more veteran guys, and we're going to stay roping second partners next year, which I'm super excited about. And we're best of friends. He's one of my very best friends, and we live 2 miles from each other, practice all the time. So that'll be cool having a good relationship with him as far as second partners. It'll even be less pressure since we're not business partners, at first. So we will honestly probably even be better friends, and which is awesome. And we're both young, and I feel like our styles line up, and I think we'll rope again one day too. And I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. Lexus this week?
He was lights out. My horse. I mean, I've always, because it's such a bold statement. Because I've been fortunate enough to ride good horses. Other people have let me on, and Walt Woodard's let me ride his great horse, and Dustin Searcy's let me ride his, and I've rode multiple other people's top quality horses. I've been fortunate enough to have a few good ones, and it would be a bold statement to say he's the best horse I ever rode. But I kind of want to keep my mouth shut. But I think now I can say it. He's the best horse I've ever rode, and he's been. So I've been so fortunate to own him, and he's just so easy. He'd fit anyone, you know. I mean, the people in the number 8 World Series tomorrow would have a chance to win on him, and that's saying a lot.
Was he hurt this year, or was it the year before?
He got hurt last July in 2018, and he came back this spring of 2019. And I honestly didn't even know he was injured when I took him to the vet to get checked up on, and I just was getting a maintenance checkup, and he had a lot of issues going on, so he's kind of a warrior.
Very cool. Now, you are 24, right? 24. You have won nearly everything you can win in the sport of team roping. How much pressure did you feel to get to this point? You started off with U.S. Finals wins. I mean, more money at the U.S. Finals than anybody's probably ever won.
Yeah.
What kind of pressure?
Honestly, I set a really broad goal. I've never, at a young age, I never told myself I wanted to win a world championship. I never even set a goal to do that. I always told myself I wanted to be the best healer in the world. Like, I wanted to know myself I was the best healer in the world, and it be point blank. And I am not. And so I'm honest enough with myself to know I'm not the best healer in the world. I hope to be there, and this is a pretty good milestone to help prove myself that. But I always thought it was cool that, because some people say, like, what if you do win the world? There's nothing left. Well, yeah, I mean, I just set a broad goal, and even though I won the world championship, that really, it's such a cool accomplishment, and it's the biggest thing I've ever accomplished in roping. But honestly, I have a lot more that I want to do and to prove to myself. So.
Your family shares maybe every post I put on Facebook about anything. I love them. They help me. They help me out. What has your family been telling you this week?
My family is very supportive. They've always been huge fans. I mean, my mom, my dad, my wife, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. I don't have any bigger fan. I mean, if I had to prove to them that I was the best, it wouldn't take much. But they always tell. I always have to. I disagree with them on where I'm at. So they're super supportive, and they're always bringing me up, and I truly think my dad probably has one of the best. I mean, he's always been the best person with advice growing up. I mean, he always knew the right things to say, and I wish more kids had the opportunity to experience that, because he's better than anyone I've ever witnessed working with kids, being around kids, and how he handled me growing up and helped me. And I wish more kids have the opportunity to listen to somebody like that and to experience that relationship with their dad. Tell
me a little bit more about that. How did he handle you when you were a kid?
He told me one time when I was at a very young age that he said that he would match the effort I put in. So he said he would do whatever he could in his power to match whatever effort I put into it. And he never pushed me. He never I was always on my terms, and he says to this day, he said he had to work his butt off to match that effort. But he's very supportive. The only time he would get mad at me if I threw a fit. If I threw a fit and I was negative, he didn't handle that. He could handle me losing. He could handle me. I mean, if I was prepared and he never had to push me to practice or to prepare for anything. But if I was prepared to the best of my ability and I made a mistake, he could handle that. If I threw a fit and caused a scene and didn't handle myself correctly, that upset him. But he was he never got upset much, and he just had great advice, and I feel like he always knew the right thing to say. And another thing that I thought really stood out to me is if he didn't know something, he wouldn't say it. He would never give false information.
Wow.
He would give the very best information to his knowledge, but he would never say anything he wasn't sure of. And I think that is the biggest misleading perception of any junior rodeo parent to this day. They'll be a novice or don't even do the sport, and they'll tell their kid just in their ear all day about what they're doing. And I thought he he never gave false information. He got me somewhere to get the right information.
Are you going to be a junior rodeo parent soon?
I don't know. I'm not going to push my kids at all, but my 2-year-old, he is really into it. He loves to ride. He ropes. He wakes me up at 7 out here every morning, pokes me in the shoulder and says, you want to rope, want to rope. So he gets up and he's got a plastic dummy that sits on the glass table, and it like a suction cup, and he'll rope it until you don't want to rope it anymore, and then he'll still rope it. But he'll rope it all day in the hotel room. So that's been our morning routine out here, and evening routine. But
The last question, the average. We haven't talked about that, but that's a pretty exciting accomplishment.
to win the average at the finals is pretty cool, because when you come out here, there's the one side of the spectrum, and the team ropers is fan. They're like, why don't these guys just go catch 10 and win the average and pay so much money? But when you think about it, each night they never give money away in the rounds. You got to earn it, and all but maybe one round there'll be a slow, a forgiving round. But there's so much money to be won in the rounds. You got to take the money as it comes and the opportunities as it comes, and then let the average take care of itself. But it was super cool that our run and the plan that we had was good enough to, on the right steers, place along in the rounds and stay at our spot in the average. And I thought it was just so cool to make a good plan like that and just work almost perfectly,
Absolutely. Well, I am so glad we have a world champ that is articulate and wonderful to talk to. I could talk to you all night. Thank you so much, Wesley.
You bet. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us all week. We got to thank our partners at Resistol. These guys are both Team Resistol, for sure.
Yep.
Fastback ropes, CSI saddle pads, and Soft Ride Equine comfort boots. Clay Smith has been in a CSI saddle pad all week long, so hope you guys saw that, made note of what best in the world are riding in. Thanks, everybody, and we're going to take a short break, and then we will be back with you later in the week.